What if I told you that in the world of our ancestors, justice wasn't just swift, but often terrifyingly creative? Picture this, a man sealed inside a hollow bronze statue screaming as a fire rages beneath it. Or a ruler demanding that wrongdoers face wild animals in a public spectacle of survival. These aren't just scenes from some gruesome movie, they're real punishments from ancient civilizations. Today, we're diving into the bizarre and brutal ways our ancestors defined justice. Buckle up, because this is a journey into the darkest corners of human history. Our first stop takes us to ancient Greece, where justice wasn't just about punishment, it was about sending a message. Enter the Brazen Bull, an invention attributed to Perillus of Athens. Perillus designed this hollow bronze statue with a cruel twist. It was meant to cook people alive. Imagine this, the accused is locked inside the bull, and a fire is lit beneath it. As the heat rises, their screams echo through a series of pipes, transforming into a horrifying mimicry of a bull's roar. It's said that the very inventor Perillus became its first victim when the tyrant Phalaris wanted to test his gruesome creation. In many ways, the Brazen Bull wasn't just a punishment, it was a spectacle, a public display meant to instill fear and awe. But it also raises questions. How far would a society go to maintain order, and at what cost to humanity? Next, we travel to Imperial China, where punishment took on a form of methodical cruelty, known as or death by 1,000 cuts. Reserved for the most heinous crimes, this punishment was as much about shame as it was about suffering. The condemned would be tied to a post as an executioner, slowly and deliberately sliced away at their body. Each cut was designed to prolong pain and suffering, with death arriving only after the victim endured unbearable torment. What makes it even more chilling is its psychological element. The punishment wasn't just about physical pain, it was about erasing a person's honor, as their dismembered body was seen as an insult to their ancestors. To many, it wasn't just death, it was obliteration. If there's one civilization that turned punishment into entertainment, it's ancient Rome. And among their many brutal practices, or condemnation to the beasts, stands out for its sheer theatricality. Criminals, slaves, and even early Christians were thrown into arenas to face lions, bears, or other ferocious animals. For the Romans, this wasn't just punishment, it was primetime entertainment. Crowds would cheer as the condemned fought for their lives, with little chance of survival. To the spectators, this was a thrilling spectacle. To the condemned, it was a terrifying and inevitable fate. And for us, it's a haunting reminder of how justice and cruelty often walked hand in hand in ancient Rome. Our final stop brings us to the Persian Empire and a punishment so grotesque it's hard to believe it ever existed, known as Scaphism, or the boats. This method involved trapping the condemned between two wooden boats or hollowed logs, leaving their head, hands and feet exposed. They would then be force-fed milk and honey, attracting insects that would feast on their exposed skin and eventually infest their body. Death, slow and agonizing, could take days or even weeks. Scaphism wasn't just about death, it was about humiliation and suffering on a scale that defies comprehension. The condemned became a living feast, their punishment a horrifying warning to others. These punishments may seem unthinkable today, but they reveal a lot about the civilizations that created them. For ancient societies, justice wasn't just about fairness, it was about power, control, and sometimes spectacle. But as horrifying as these practices were, they also remind us how far we've come in defining humanity and justice. So, the next time you hear someone complain about modern punishments, remind them of the Brazen Bull or Scaphism, because in the grand scheme of history, we've come a long way.